What's up, guys? I'm Alex.
I'm Jason. We're the Table Monkeys, and we are here with another video talking about the martial arts side of arm wrestling. We're on a bit of a kick with this lately. Check out our last video where we talked about regripping. Today we want to talk about combos in arm wrestling. I like to relate arm wrestling to fighting a lot, like either MMA or boxing. And the same way that you would throw a combo in either of those sports to try to take advantage or disorient your opponent, you can do the same thing in arm wrestling. We're going to kind of take it from the same position as the regrip video where we're talking about when the match stops in the center of the table, which is something you see a lot, right?
Yeah. So it's important to understand both Devon's Hill of arm wrestling techniques, we'll put a diagram on the screen here, and also our pyramid of pressures. And we can put a link here to a video we made about that not too long ago. But basically, to understand it briefly, we have the back and forth plane, we have the sideways plane, and we have the up and down plane. Those are all pressures that you can employ on the arm wrestling table, combined with actual moves that you learn from learning the Hill techniques.
And this video is basically how to use those two concepts together to form combos on the table. So we want to start with 4 basic hits that you could do, and then how you can turn these 4 hits into a combo, right? So again, using the planes of pressures, the first or the 4 hits are going to be either an up or like a post. So if you're on Devon's Hill of arm wrestling techniques, this would be like T1, right? Top roll number 1, which is a posting top roll. But it's basically just straight up pressure. The next pressure would be back, right? So like a low hand top roll if you're on Devon's Hill of arm wrestling technique, or it could be like a drag if you're in more of a hook position, but basically pulling the match back towards you this way.
And then the opposite of back, which would be forward, coming forward, getting around my opponent, usually going for a hook. And then obviously the ultimate pressure, sideways, Toddzilla style, straight to the side.
And that sideways can be performed from any of those positions. So if I'm back in a low hand top roll position, I can still go sideways. If I'm up in a big post, I can still go sideways. And as Alex was just showing me, if we're in a hook, he can slam me sideways, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do a couple combos. Maybe we can show a couple examples, or maybe, you know what, we're going to put an example of some serious martial arm wrestling and combos right now with Keary.
The most martial arm wrestler there is on the planet, I guess.
Yeah, so check this clip out, get an idea of how this can be used on the table, and then we will show you a couple combos that you can start to play with to really get into this technique or idea.
Keary needs to slow things down a little bit, and he needs to hit for position, not for the pin.
I completely agree. That transition in the match Rob we had against John Brzezinski, it became a little flop for his battle. I don't know that option is going to be there as easily with the match against Keary. Oh, no, square, both men. Love it. The fly fisherman. Bang, bang.
So that was obviously a masterclass in martial arm wrestling, using combos to dismantle your opponent. We can only wish to be like Keary one day. And if you also wish to be like Keary, then you got to learn how to use combos on the table just like him.
Yeah.
So we're going to give a couple examples of how to use all those pressures that we just talked about before once the match has stopped.
Yeah, and the idea with these 4 pressures is that they're interchangeable. You could come up with any combination you want, kind of like roll dice and figure out, and then just start playing with them. So this is the one that you came up with that you liked.
Yep.
So what was it?
Right, so we're arm wrestling, the match has stopped. I'm going to go back, side, forward, up.
And I'd be fucked.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you could, for theatrics, let's do that like more full speed.
Yeah, of course. Doing it full speed with actual hits is the way to go in a real match.
Yeah, so he's not going to try to kill me, but we're gonna perform it at full speed. Yeah, and again, you could perform that in so many different combos, so many different
that's
ways,
just one.
and with so many different kind of dynamics. You know, you could hold and grind on one, and then bang, bang, hit too quick. You can throw it in a lot of different ways, the same way you would throw a combo in boxing or whatever. It's going to be about timing and the match, exactly how it happens. So, you know, play around with them. Another one, the one that I was feeling that I was liking is, again, we're stuck in the center, and I'm going to go up, back, forward, and side. And it's, again, you could, like, if we were to do it more full speed, so it's going to look like, right? That would be like if I was trying to, like, blister my opponent. And you know, we always try to promote like safe practices and you know, really caring and taking care of your training partners and not looking at people as competition. But when you have people that you're well evenly matched with in practice, there's going to be a lot of times where you get stuck in the center of the table, and that's the time to really start playing with these combos. I know for me personally, where I've started to really think about them and explore them is when I'm pulling with Mike, because we're so even, especially on left arm. Unless I know there's a couple lanes that I can exploit, but for the most part, we get stuck so much that when I play with these combos, it's opened a lot of doors, right? So the martial arts side of arm wrestling is a lot of fun. And
Exactly. So like you said, these are best done against people that you're evenly matched with if you're going to do it in practice. And obviously you do need to practice it before you get to a tournament. So it's obviously very helpful to have people who are close to you in level that you can practice these moves with. And then try different combos. Ones that fit you better, obviously practice them more.
Yeah, and you can explore them like we did when we were showing them in the beginning at low speed. So like even if we just pick randomly from there, let's go, if I were to go forward, back, up, side. Right, and I'm just looking at our notes on the board, and I started one place, thought of another, and then there's only two left to pick from. But that was about as random as I could get without rolling dice. And the point is, with no pressure, you can really still feel what that's going to do in the match and which ones are going to work together. I think the first one we ever thought of was back forward, right? Like you've probably seen a lot of people do this, or you see them down here and they start doing this. It's the same idea. It's throwing a combo of like two directions and just trying to make it work, right?
There's a million different ways to do it. So it really opens the doors to a lot of different ways to explore arm wrestling, which is awesome. It's not just a pure strength sport like we keep trying to make clear. This is a combat sport where strength is the number one factor. Technique plays a huge role in arm wrestling, and if you learn combos, it just levels you up so much more. Yeah,
and as Alex said in the beginning of this video, it really revolves around understanding those two concepts. First and foremost being Devon's hill of arm wrestling techniques, which is the building blocks and the basis of all the theories that we come up with above and beyond that, which the most, I think, important one after that would be the pressures, the three-dimensional planes in arm wrestling, because again, the more that we hammer away on those, the more we find them to be true. So check out those videos, understand those concepts. These are just 4 starting points. There's so many different hits that you can explore on the table, right? So like, comment, subscribe, let us know what you think, all those things, and punch down.